Morning, Russ.
Good morning.
In terms of the week so far, good week's training?
It's been a very good week's training. We had quite a hard session on the Monday where we did a double session. We did a lot of fitness work in terms of their endurance work, which the gaffer took, and it was quite a hard day. And we obviously did some bodies as well, some core stability stuff, abdominal stuff. So yeah, they've had a good week. Trained very well the other day again. It was nice and bright, like phases of play, how we want to set up, working on the defence more than the attack, to be fair, and it was really good. And in the whole session, I think they only scored about one goal in about 35-40 minutes, which doesn't bode well for the forwards, but it was very good from the defence.
I was going to say, you might have to change your defensive record at home. 10 goals in the last 3 games, not the best record.
No, it's not. We had all the players in the other day and had a video session with them, and we showed them. We actually looked at the goals. They were silly errors, really, schoolboy errors, to be honest with you. Because up until the sort of last 6 minutes of the game, you know, we could have got away with something, and caught it lapse of concentration. We were down to 10 men. They did actually use their spare man very well. They put us under a lot of pressure, and we were parked in our half quite a bit, and we defended really well. And then all of a sudden, you know, it just happened, and it's unfortunate. We can't keep dwelling on it. We have to work at it, and the players know that, and we'll be doing that again today.
What have you said to the players this week about discipline on the field?
Well, we obviously know the Reece situation, and it's unfortunate because, you know, we're going to miss the boy for 3 games now, and it's not the first time we've had a player suspended, as you know. And when we need everybody, you know, to pick from, especially key players like when Keegan Parker was out, Reece, obviously they're big name players, and you know they can rise to an occasion. I mean, the boy's seen red. I've spoke to him. The gaffer spoke to him. I know the press have spoke to him. He couldn't even explain the reason why he did what he did. But I've been around football long enough and I've seen worse situations, to be honest with the players, you know, higher calibre than him doing the same sort of thing. And it was a red rag to a bull. The boys had been at each other. If you'd watched the game, and you certainly watched the DVD, you know, they were hustling and bushing each other all through the game. And he just moments lapse of discipline and got sent off, and obviously it put us under pressure.
To call your side a dirty side, I think would be wrong if we look at the number of yellow cards you've received this year. But in terms of those red cards, they've been straight red cards. That's a worrying trend. Yeah,
it is. And to be honest with you, I mean, you know, both the gaffer and myself, you know, we're quite, I wouldn't say we're disciplinarians, but we don't allow that type of thing. Certainly in the training ground, around the club, you know, the players are really well behaved. But unfortunately, you know, you ask players, you know, to try and remain cool in situations like that, and not to get drawn into silly battles with players. You know, if you're gonna have a battle with a player, you know, do it fairly and beat 50-50 and do it fairly. We can't stop that, unfortunately. When the players go over that white line, if they do something like that, there's nothing we can do about it. He's been spoken to. I can't see him ever doing it again, to be honest with you. And like you say, it's not a true reflection on our side at all. But when people do look and think, well, they've had 2 reds and we look like we're a dirty team, and you know we're not, not at all.
What have you said to the players this week in regard to the feeling in that changing room? You've got your finger on the pulse about players' feelings, that their mood in the camp at the minute. With only 1 win in the last 7, how are the boys feeling?
We keep the dressing room lively. And if I see any heads dropping down, then I'll be the first one to get them back up again. Of course, you know they are feeling it. We have had we've not had the rub of the green, unfortunately, at times. And I'm not one for making excuses, but it is the truth. Sometimes you do need a bit of lady luck on your side. But no, I won't allow the players' heads to drop. The gaffer won't allow it. We keep them. You know, we're going to train at a high tempo. We keep the mood in the camp good. Because if you start getting players' heads dropping down, you know, it's like a cancer, it spreads, and we're not going to allow that to happen.
What do you make of Torquay? Obviously in the league above you, so there's one challenge.
Played against them a few times, to be honest with you. I've been lucky enough to get results against them, and I hope that's going to be the case on Saturday. I know they play. They play with 2 good wingers, and they will. I'd imagine that's where they'll play the 4-4-2, and I'd imagine that's where they'll get the balls wide to the wingers and get balls delivered into our box, and they're very nippy and quick. So they're a challenge, but it's a challenge that we're going to rise to. We're looking forward to it. It is a break in the league. We got through the first round, let's hope we get through the second round.
They've got a very good away record this season. They play 10 games away from home. They've only lost twice, so you're going to be up against it.
We are, yeah, but we're ready for it. We're going to rise to the occasion. It is the FA Cup. They are a league above us, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
If we look at the records of the two sides, they've done very well on the road this year. You have only got one win in the last 7, conceded 10 at home in the last 3. Are they expected to win on Saturday?
They're going to expect to win the game, of course they are, and I imagine that they would have had us watched, and I'm sure their manager will be saying, we can go to Mansfield Town and beat them. They're going through a bit of a lean spell, so they'll want to take advantage of that, but we're not going to allow them to do that. We're going to, the players will be right. We can't, unfortunately, we can't field the strongest team we want because we haven't got those players available. Yourself, we've got, Paul Connors had a problem with his hamstring. Silky's had a problem with he's got a muscular problem on his calf. And of course we're without Reece Day, so we've got to juggle the pack, and we've got to go out there and do the best we can. We've
got a big enough squad to rotate. Is there a temptation to do that and protect players in light of the league situation?
Again, that's I spoke to the gaffer about that. We want to win the game. We want to win the game for us and for the supporters and for Mansfield Town. So the team will change because it's going to have to change because we haven't got what we want to pick. But I'm sure the players that get pulled into the lineup, they'll do their best. They'll give their 100%, and I'm sure the good thing is, you've got 7 players on the bench as well, which helps in the FA Cup. So yeah, we can juggle the pack and hopefully get our just rewards for that.
Fans in recent weeks have been quick to criticise David Holdsworth. We've had a host of players talk to us supporting the gaffer. I imagine you'd want to echo those thoughts as well.
Absolutely. I just if one thing I can say to the fans is please be patient. The gaffer is really building a team. He's not had the resources as other managers have had, and to be where we are in the league, and let's be honest with you, expectation, I know it's high. You can't guarantee overnight success. It took 10 years for Burton Albion to get out of the league, to be honest with you. And although we want to get out this season if we can, but we've got to be realistic. We're building a side. It takes time for those players to gel. Both on the field and off the field, and I just say to the spectators, just please be patient, and I can assure you now that we do everything we possibly can on the training ground, around the ground, and try and keep upbeat, and we certainly won't take off the gas. We give 100%, the gaffer and I, and that will never change. So I'll just say to them, please be patient.
You used the word there, he's building a side. Didn't he build one in the summer?
Well, I think when you say, would you build, we didn't have the resources other teams do, unfortunately, and that's no knock on the players that we started with. But you always look to strengthen your side, and if you look a lot around the league and you look at the Crawleys and the Wimbledons and the Lutons, they've had finance, and they've been able to bring in better players and better calibre, and that's what you've got to do, and that's what you've got to try and do. You can only, if you haven't got the money and the resources, you've got to just go with what you've got. But you can always improve a side, and I think that's what we're going to continue to do.
It's a cup game on Saturday. It's all ticketed. Season ticket holders will have the choice of coming or not. What's your message to them?
You got to come along. It's a great occasion. It's the FA Cup. It's it's a competition made of dreams. I've been lucky enough when I was at Yeovil Town to overturn teams and go on and advancing. And it really is good. It's exciting. We want to get through to the next round. You want to get in the hat. You want to be drawn against Liverpool, Man United, Aston Villa, just to name but a few. But yeah, I'd say to them, please come along, give your support, and get behind the lads.